What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining or viewing this video. I don't know how long you'll view it for, but thank you for joining. So you want to have fries with that, do you? Basically, so you want to have fries with that is conscious thought. It's thoughts that are already out there in the market, and then some of them are brand new. I mean, realistically, some of the things you think about in general, you as a human being, you could be thinking about it for a long time. You could be saying it for a long time. And then eventually it hits the market and it's mainstream, right? And you hear it all around. Some of it might be thought of as conspiracy, and then you realize that there is a realistic part that it is not 100% conspiracy. All right, so where do we start? So much. All I'm going to do is leave it as this. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself, but you cannot expect me, if I am conscious and fully aware and I am listed as sound mind, to consider you as something else. Perfect example, gender. Look, I love women. My sexual fantasies are about women. So realistically, a man acting, dressing, doing whatever as a woman is never gonna work. I'm sorry, it's not gonna work for me. It's just not gonna work for me. I saw something online which I thought it was hilarious. It said that if you take 100 men, or I don't know, let's just say, if you take 100 men and 10 women, and you wait 100 years, you'll come back to that same place where you left those individuals, and you will find a thriving society, or a society. But if you take 100 trans women and 10 men, you'll come back and find bones of 110 men. Yo, you gotta be real. I mean, let's be honest here. Back in the days, or not too long ago, back in the 80s, if you were to cut yourself, and still to this date, if you cut yourself, that is considered a mental issue. If you were to call yourself by different names and trying to change your body, it would be considered a mental issue. But because underneath the word trans, none of this seems to exist. But once again, if I am of sound mind, there's no way in hell I can accept calling you something that doesn't make sense or rationale to my sound mind, because that is in return making me insane. Let's be fair here. No one is chasing after trans people. No one is abusing trans people. But I will say this. If you put the focus on you and try to dictate and force people into doing things they do not want to do, you could get retaliation. And then they'll be like, oh my God, they're attacking. No one's attacking anybody. Really not. No one really cares what you do behind closed doors. And realistically, no one even really cares what you do in public unless you force it down someone's throat. I mean, if a man and a woman were having sex in the street, that's forcing it down the throat. No one would want to see that. Just like they wouldn't want to see you having sex in the street. Whatever your gender choices, options are, And the majority of us probably wouldn't even want to have sex in the street in the first place, no matter what our preferences are. let's be fair here. There's only male and female. And as for sex, there's only heterosexual and homosexual. I don't have no issues with you liking what you want to like. I mean, in the end of the day, I would just say just be homosexual opposed to trying to be trans. Because in the end, you're a man who wants to be a woman to date men. Or you're a woman that wants to be a man to date women. I mean, what the fuck? Is that not considered homosexual? Or am I too old for the times? Because the times are changing. We hear this shit constantly every day now. New society. No, society's the same. Society has rules, regulations, ideas, but it doesn't necessarily change. Good is good, bad is bad. You know, that's it. It doesn't say, like, you could be a cat tomorrow if you were a dog. It doesn't have that option. But at this point, you could say, well, if I could read my dog's mind, you can't. But let's just leave it as this, right? Be you. Stop forcing other people to accept you. Just be you. And your plight, right? Your plight has nothing to do with the Black American plight. Black Americans had things that they were not even able to achieve and were in bondage. You just want to be able to be he or she. You want to be able to be he or she and to be able to lie about, I go to the, as a woman, a trans woman, a trans man, listen, fuck it, I'm even confused. As a trans man, you want to be able to say you went and you got a prostate exam. That's going to be fucking hilarious. I'm just saying. And as a trans woman, it's going to be very interesting when you have to go to the doctor and get the coughing check when you have no balls and no nuts. I don't know. I've had it before. We have to look the other way and cough. I don't necessarily know if you get rid of your stuff, whether the coughing situation still works. I don't know. All I'm saying is we gotta stop lying to these kids. We pamper these kids at home like you could be anything you want to be. And they have to go into the real world one day. And the real world is like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? You better get on that. You better get over there and cook those grits. Or you better do what you gotta do. Whatever your job is, they're gonna want you to successfully do your job. And they don't really want to hear a lot of this shit. Now, I have to admit, it seems like companies are putting on applications, what do you prefer being called? But eventually along the line, they're going to get tired of that shit. Because the whole thing is, get the job done. Because the reality is an individual that has that much problems mentally has a hell of a lot more. And let me break it down to you real quickly. That person will constantly be in conflict in their own cerebral brain, right? There's no way possible that you can ever wake up and achieve womanhood or manhood if you were not born that way and do not have the biological attributes or the parts. And you can never in a lifetime deal with being something that you are not. So you will be constantly waking up feeling unachieving the goal that you want. Knowing that you haven't achieved the goal, you then come out to the general public, pressuring the general public on an ongoing basis to give you gratification of being that individual that you are not. And you will go home every day, wake up every day unhappy, and the cycle goes on. This is perfectly set forth with people that are depressed, because people that are depressed go to sleep, wake up in the morning still depressed, because they can't get past the issue that is in their brain, whether it's trauma from being a kid or whatever the case may be, whatever has set them on that path. So understanding that that's how depression works with the mind, understand that's what the fuck you're gonna deal with all your life. And if as a kid you decide to let your parents give you free will and you just go along with whatever they tell you, and you cut off body parts and you take hormones and you somehow change your mind somehow in your mid-20s, I don't know what's gonna happen. Because at that point in time, without body parts, that's crazy. But even if you have the body parts, with all the estrogen and hormones and testosterone that you might have been given or taken away, you might not be the same person. Perfect example from what I saw, a video that said there's a woman that had decided that she just wanted to go back. She wanted to be a woman. But at that point in time, she found that she was living as if she was 50 years old or 60 years old, and she was only in her 20s. So obviously that tells you something about her body closing down. I don't know what you nuts want. I'm going to tell you, be you, but don't impose and force it upon the general public. Because nobody really cares. People got real issues out here in the world. They got to think about their finances, their living arrangements, and they don't need to be tiptoeing around you with a dress and shit, thinking that you're a goddamn woman or a man, saying that men can get pregnant. Are we foolish? What the fuck are we doing? This Western society, it is going like nuts. And I don't necessarily know the political parties or how they are gravitating towards this and absorbing this and looking for any possible vote that they can get. So I'll be like, I'll back this because we got to get the votes in. This tells you how bad we are when our actual government will actually pander to such stupid things instead of fixing the problems that are the problems that we all are dealing with, which are financial issues. I really don't know where else to go with this. I'm done. I'm done. And I'll never in my life call you what you want to be called. If you have a conversation with me, I will just say, how you doing? But I'll never say miss, and I'll never say mister if you are not. And that's it. I'm not against you, but I do not want you imposing your will upon me, because your will never really accomplishes your goal. Because every day you wake up, every day you chop another piece off, every day you add a piece on, you know, at the end of the day, you're still not who you want to be, and you'll never achieve it. And that's on you. Look, I can't be Asian. I can't be white. I can't be Spanish. That's it. I am who I am. Nor can those individuals be me or someone like me. So just like that, you can't be what you're not. You can date who you want, but you can't actually expect people to call you what you're not. Anyway, on that note, hopefully you have a review, and if it's bad, just send it, because you know what? You know I don't care. I'll actually read it and chuckle, because that's about as far as it goes. You can slander, you can slam me with cursing and say it's not an intelligent conversation, and I'll just say, nah, that's funny. But nevertheless, follow us, maybe even subscribe, but definitely leave that positive or negative comment, because you know what? This is it. It's real. I got it down to 14 minutes and some time, so I'm out. Peace.